All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. I want to go through our daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. If you're watching this video right now, there's more than a 50% chance that you have not subscribed to the channel. Now, if you like Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner content, we talk about this every day on the channel, so please do us a favor and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody would do us a favor and smash the like button. Lastly, in the pinned comment, you'll see a link to our free Discord. We also talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners quite a bit over there, in addition to the fact that you can talk about anything you want pertaining to investing. So we'd love to have you over there. Let's talk about what happened in Bitcoin today, because this was another very strange day. Bitcoin has been yo-yoing up and down. I think it's making everybody very nervous, but we're going to zoom out at a point and take a look and see if we can find some trends that are going on here inside of the madness. So we'll start with the Bitcoin miner big board, and you'll see there's a lot of red on this board. There is a bunch of green as well, so it's a mixed bag, and that really describes the day. When we get to the chart, you're going to see, based on the rally that we had this afternoon, I actually expected this entire board to go green. It did not. It was very slow to move and react. Bitcoin was moving up quickly in the afternoon, particularly the last 1 hour of the day, and the miners just didn't really tend to follow along. Core Scientific rallied off of a multi-day losing streak to end up 1 penny for the day, and that was down most of the day. So we're really settling into a range, and this just goes to the very sideways activity that we have had for about the last month now. The sentiment in the market is extremely negative. For the most part, I'm getting feedback that people think that we are either going to go sideways at the best. Most people are expecting an extended bear market. Some people are anticipating crypto winter. So that seems to be the majority of the conversation. But I think when you look at the charts, that's not exactly what's happening right now. That's not exactly how this is playing out. We definitely seem to be bouncing along the bottom. So we will see. Only time will tell if we've actually put a bottom in and if we're on the way up from here. And the last 24 hours of activity were really summarized what Bitcoin's been doing for the last month. It was exactly ambiguous. So I'm going to go through the charts and show you what I mean by that. So let's start on the Bitcoin 15-minute chart. So as always, there's an orange line here where Bitcoin was when the equity markets closed yesterday. So that line was at 31,470. So Bitcoin actually had a nice day yesterday, despite the fact that the Bitcoin miners did not have a nice day yesterday. But you'll see shortly after the close, sometime in the evening yesterday, Bitcoin nosedived a couple of $1,000. And you can see it went right down to test this blue line at 29,200. So that was actually quite encouraging for me. Obviously, the ride down was not good, but the fact that it did catch support right there where I hoped it would, where it was supposed to. So on Friday of last week, Bitcoin closed at 29,538. So you can see we gravitated right back to that for a solid 10 hours. The market opened, we made a little move up, a little move sideways, and then in the afternoon, we just went up in a straight line. But even with all of this green momentum here, it did not get most of these Bitcoin miners back to zero or into the green. Let's go to the 4 hour. Okay, this even more illustrates, you'll see all we did in the last 24 hours is end up right exactly where we started. So here was yesterday's close, and here we are right now. So we took a giant run down. This was a 2,000 point run down, and then a 2,000 point run back up. That's all within a 24-hour period. So basically we were off to the races going nowhere. But what I want to do is look at this. I'm calling it blue. It's more of an aqua line here at around $29,200. This has turned into a new line of support. If you look at May 29, we have a 4-hour candle that basically touches this line. Then again on June 1st, it gets very close to this line, but doesn't quite get there. Then on June 3rd, we perfectly test this line at 29,200. And then again last night when we crashed down, you'll see here's a 4-hour candle. So this is a giant red candle. It went straight down exactly to this line. In fact, if you look, the low was exactly $29,200.00. So that was a perfect retest. We then bounced off of that line and headed straight back up. So you'll see on the 4-hour RSI, this line right here was our giant red candle yesterday. We went below 50. We turned around. We're way back above 50 again. So we're going to get another chance to see if we can make a run. It seems like every day we're set up to potentially make a run. And for for the most part, we have been hitting a brick wall and just not getting past some of these critical lines of resistance. We're at 60 on the 4-hour RSI for Bitcoin right now, so you can see when this makes a run, this gets up closer to 80. So there's a lot of room left to the upside to have a potential run up here. So we're gonna have to see what happens. Let's go to the 1 day. Okay, so this is Bitcoin on the 1 day time frame. The lines are getting a little messy here, so let me just explain. This line at 28,800, this red line, that was 2021's low for the year. So that is about an 18-month line of support. And you can see, really since the beginning of May, we came down and tested this line on May 11th. We flash crashed way below it on May 12th, down near 25,000, came straight back up to it and actually closed above that line on the day. And then we've held that pretty much ever since. It's coming up on a month now. We did have a descending triangle that we were forming a pattern in. We broke out of that to the upside. That was the less likely case scenario, but with Bitcoin, it just seems to be hit or miss. So we did break to the upside. And then I want to compare these 2 days to what's happening right now. And I want to do so by taking a look at both the chart and the RSI. So if you look at these 2 days, we had a giant green up day here on May 30th. And then we had a very small green day that followed. Both of those days, the Bitcoin RSI was over 50 on the daily time frame. So it was at 51 2 days in a row. So basically, we were at the same exact inflection point we're at right now. We were ready for a potential breakout if Bitcoin could get above that 50 and hold. We stood on the verge of making a run up. However, you'll see we were there at 51 for 2 days. We failed. We went back below this line. Here we are again with a big green candle just like this one, and now a small green candle just like this one. And although I will tell you, for 99% of the day, and there it just went red again, we've been following along this ascending line here. So this is a very short-term line of support, and again, I'm not definitively saying that we have put a bottom in and we're on the way up, but right now, from a short-term trend standpoint, we do seem to be following this ascending line right here. We bottomed out now almost a month ago. We flashed down to almost $25,000. We haven't gotten anywhere near there since. So more and more as each passing day goes by, I do believe that this is potentially the bottom. That doesn't mean that we can't retest it. There's an awful lot going on. We've got CPI numbers coming out in a few days. We've got a lot of world activity. We just had some major legislation surface regarding cryptocurrency. So as the market digests all of those things and more, we just don't know where it's going to go. But right now, from a technical analysis, it does look like we've put in a local bottom and we seem to be trending upward, although very slowly. If we were to look at the last month, it's really very much sideways, even still to this day. So if I zoom in on the RSI, you're going to see, here we go again. So on May 30th and May 31st, we were at 51 on the daily RSI. Well, yesterday on June 6th and today on June 7th, we are at 51 on the RSI again. So we're in the exact same spot today, but I will tell you, there is one difference. When the market opened this morning, today's RSI was down around 44, so it had actually just broken under this line of support, and it looked like we were going to break below this and this pattern was going to fail, but it did not. We recovered the rest of the day and had a massive green update from there. So this got us back right to where we were. This is 2 days in a row at 51. So once again, we find ourselves in this same spot. So all too many times we have been running into these potential breakouts versus a potential line of resistance that we fail at. So last week we failed. Let's see, maybe this week we can break through this little bit of resistance right here at just around 51 on the daily RSI. If we do so, you'll see this ascending line that we're following. I'm looking at this line here at $33,000 as the next major price target for Bitcoin if we can establish even just a little bit of a rally. So I'm not necessarily looking for this to go through the roof and turn long-term bullish immediately. I do think we have a lot of choppy activity ahead of us. That's what we've seen for well over a month now. And again, we have been unable to break out of an extremely tight range for over a month. This line at 28.8 has held as support. This line at 33,000 has held as resistance. And in fact, we really haven't even gotten near this line to even test resistance yet. So that would be step one. I'd like to get up to this line and see if we can push through this resistance. But of course, we need to hold the daily RSI and have an upward move from here in order to do that. I want to take a look at a couple of the Bitcoin miners in specific. The first one we'll look at is HUT8. This is on the 1 day time frame. I'm zoomed out a little because I want to show you just how far back this has pulled since the highs back in November. So if I go from November 9th down to where we are today, and again, remember today, HUT HUT did hit a 52-week low. Even though it closed up on the day, intraday, it hit a new 52-week low. So it is down 86% in the last basically 7 months. So this is a massive, massive move to the downside. This one is from March 28th. Bitcoin hit a local top of 48,000 on March 28th. So most of the Bitcoin miners also peaked on that same day as well. So since that day, HUT is down 66%. That's just 2 months ago. Now again, Bitcoin ran all the way up to 48,000. So we did have one of those bull runs that I do think we can have inside of these bear markets. We can have nice strong bull runs. We saw one here when we bottomed out in January and ran up for the next few weeks in February, and then we saw another one here when we bottomed out in March and ran up through March 28th. So there have been a couple of very strong bull runs inside this bearish cycle that we seem to be in. So if we can see another one of those, the first target I'll look at is if HUT 8 can just get back to where it was trading 1 month ago at the beginning of May. So that's just 1 month ago. That's a 77% increase in the price of HUT 8. And I will tell you, even though these are equities, they are totally tied to the price of Bitcoin and the movement of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies. So they do have wild swings like this. In fact, in January, from January 21st to February 10th, HUT 8 just had a run like this, up 78%. So this is not an unrealistic price target. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you that this is going to happen. I'm just showing you that this literally just did happen this year. So I think that's a pretty realistic price target. Obviously, on the other side, we hit a new 52-week low today on HUT, and we have done that several times over the last 6 months. So bit of a falling knife, down 86% in total, but I do see some upside if Bitcoin can catch a little bit of momentum. Okay, last one I want to look at is GREE. There's 2 price points I want to look at here. And again, today, GREE was 3 pennies off of its 52-week low. GREE put out their earnings on April 1st. This was the first time we had some real information on GREE in a long time. It was a pretty big information dump. The market seemed to react very positively in the short term. It had a massive up day, hung out up there for a few days. But since then, it's now 2 months later, and GREE is down 65%. So it's sitting in a similar boat. All of these Bitcoin miners, to a certain extent, have a similar trajectory. So again, just to look at 2 quick price targets, if GREE could get back to where it was trading at the beginning of May, so that's just 1 month ago, that would be a 61% increase in the price of their stock. If GREE could get back to where it was trading 2 months ago at April 1st, now remember that was just a few days after Bitcoin had run up to 48,000. So we would need to have a nice run in Bitcoin, I would imagine, to see that. But that would be a 200% increase in the price of GREE stock. So there is some nice upside here. Once again, this is a falling knife. Yesterday, it hit its all-time low. So again, please be super careful with all these. There's a risk-reward analysis to be done. Please do your own due diligence. So that's what's going on with Bitcoin. We've taken a big roller coaster ride all the way around right back to where we started yesterday. So I will check back in tomorrow and hopefully we will have made some progress. If you made it this far, please remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. Thanks so much for watching and we'll see you in the next video.